Hey there YouTubers, this is Amberola1B coming to you again with another video in my series that I call Echoes from the Past. This one can also be termed as an old radio broadcast. I don't know what it is, but it's a musical show, and the chief singer on the show of that day was John Charles Thomas. And he sang some musical numbers, arias from operas, etc., etc. And it seemed to be a really good show. And the nice thing about it was that when the spool of wire finally ended, a lot of times, it'll end in the middle of a song or a comedy sketch or something like that. But it ended right at the end of one of the tunes, and you heard applause, and then the wire ran out. So at least you got to hear the whole musical number that was being played before the wire ended. And it's recorded pretty well. The only thing is, the problem with these wires that they suffer is that the erase head on the record playback head wasn't sufficient enough to erase the whole signal, because the wire itself is cylindrical, and sometimes it can roll over as it's being rewound or played back or erased, and it doesn't erase all of the signal. So the only way to really erase the signal was these Webster Chicago wire recorders, supplied as an accessory an erase head which would fit, or erase magnet that would fit right in here, so that you could successfully erase the entire spool of wire and there would be no signal left on it. But the erase head on these machines wasn't sufficient enough to erase the whole signal, just because of the reason I just described. But anyway, I don't know what this program was. But like I said, it is pretty good, and you'll hear some kind of signal underneath part of the recording from the previous recording that was made on this spool of wire. But anyway, I hope you enjoy this. It's probably only around 20 minutes long, but like I said, you get a whole complete segment of the show, whatever it was. If anybody out there can tell me what this show was, I'd appreciate it. So now we start our program. Enjoy it.
its work, it has remained one of the great vocal pieces of all time. Tulo Sai, Well Thou Knowest, sung by John Charles Thomas. Up the landscape. Then, from a distance, a melody softly steals across the air. We hear now the chorus and orchestra in the lovely humming chorus from Madame Butterfly. marked one more important date in the long history of telephone progress. For on that day, people living in the suburban town of Cranford, New Jersey, were able for the first time to reach any telephone in New York City 20 miles away simply by dialing 1-1 and then dialing the New York number. Some 4 million telephones are now within dialing range of these New Jersey telephone users. This is another step in a program that will include other towns one by one so that many more communities will be able to reach nearby towns or large cities by direct dialing. The telephone engineers who have this plan in hand look forward to some distant day when you'll be able to dial a number on your own telephone and reach directly any telephone in a city halfway across the continent, perhaps someday all the way across. Many long-distance operators can already do so from their switchboard positions. Whenever we speak of this advance toward long-distance dialing, the question naturally arises, what happens to the telephone operators? The best answer to this question is what happened in local dialing. 10 years ago, 55% of all Bell telephones were dialed. Today, 73% are dialed. What has happened to the operators? There are twice as many as 10 years ago. Of course, if a change of this sort came too suddenly, a lot of girls would lose their jobs. But this simply does not happen. The changes come gradually and are planned for long in advance. Former Secretary of Labor, Francis Perkins, referred to this gradual introduction of dial telephone service as an almost perfect example of technological change made with a minimum of disaster. Because of what Miss Perkins called human as well as technical planning, she found no serious dislocation when labor-saving equipment of the telephone company was installed. And so, although Cranford tonight can dial direct into New York and someday may dial to Chicago or even to San Francisco, there's no reason to believe that the Bell system will be any less successful in dealing with this problem of technological change than it has in the past. Our experience is that service improvements increase the demand for our products, and that means more and better jobs and a wider and more useful telephone service.
Two songs for you, both of which have brought joy to millions of people the world over. The first is a love song of rare beauty by Charles Wakefield Cadman, At Dawning. When the dawn flames in the sky, well, from the double pen of two favorite gentlemen of the 19th century named Gilbert and Sullivan. In this saucy piece, I am a chap what wanted to get ahead on His Majesty's steamship Pinafore and of the Queen's Navy. And here's how I did it with the help of the obliging chorus. When I was a lad, I served a term as office boy to an attorney's firm. I cleaned the windows and I swept the floor. I polished up the handle of the big front door. I polished up that handle so carefully that now I am the ruler of the Queen's Navy. As office boy, I made such a mark that they gave me the post of a junior clerk. I served the writs with a smile so bland, and I copied all the letters in a big round hand. I copied all the letters in a hand so free that now I'm the ruler of the Queen's Navy. In serving writs, I made such a name that an article clerk I soon became. I wore clean collars and a brand new suit for the past examination at the Institute. That past examination did so much for me that I am the ruler of the Queen's Navy. Of legal knowledge, I acquired such a grip that they took me into the partnership. And that junior partnership, I ween, was the only ship that I ever seen. That kind of a ship so suited me that now I'm the ruler of the Queen's Navy. I grew so rich that I was sent by a pocket borough into Parliament. I always loaded my pockets gold and never thought of thinking myself alone. I thought so little they rewarded me by making me the ruler of the Queen's Navy. Now, landsmen all, whoever you may be, if you want to rise to the top of the tree, if your soul isn't fettered to an office stool, be careful to be guided by this golden rule. Stick close to your desk and never go to sea, and you all may be rulers of the Queen's Navy.
Melodies in the treasure house of Tchaikovsky is found in his violin concerto in D. From this work, Donald Voorhees and the orchestra now bring us the second movement, the canzonetta.
And that was the end of that spool of wire. Like I said, if anybody can identify that show in any way, shape, manner, or form, please leave a comment below. Alright, and this is Amberola 1B signing off. See you next time with another in my series of videos called Echoes from the Past. And I will see you next time. Bye-bye.